Welcome to the Spiritual Cartels meditation meeting. You are now invited to make yourselves comfortable and enjoy this time with your higher power. This week, I am pleased to introduce Kimia, who has kindly agreed to come and share for us. Kimia, over to you.
Thank you so much, beautiful Jojo, and everybody who put in the service of reading the literature that is so important. And so it opens the doors to those who are seeking a solution that has worked for us. So wherever you're coming from, doesn't matter if you've been in this room before. It doesn't matter if you've even meditated before or not. Hopefully the next few minutes in our step 7 will become a space where you seek serenity, where you seek a moment of pause between your thoughts and connection with a power that will remove from you whatever it is that you're willing to have lifted. And that's one of the most important things, not only just in meditation, but in this principled way of thought and principled way of life in God's will. Whatever you allow to be lifted will be lifted. Whatever you want to keep, you get to keep. So let's get into it. Get comfortable. I see Ashley's dog has also joined us. If you have a pet, a beautiful soul beside you, they get an opportunity to teach you how it's done, and they just simply breathe. That's all that is required here. So come as you are. Just breathe in and breathe out. And if you're messaging me 8 hours from now, letting me know that you just woke up from this meditation, that's what God would have wanted for you. If rest comes to you, allow it. There's no reason to resist. All right, let's get into it together, my beautiful fellows. As you get situated in your space, and you get a chance to remember that you're a human, and you get a chance to remember that you exist in a body. And regardless of how loud the head may have gotten for you today, and this is the time for your body to get a moment of restfulness, a moment of calm, a moment to build a connection that will serve you in all areas of your life. And so today is all about our step 7. But it should not be forgotten that we have gone through 6 other steps to be here. On step 1, we admitted we were powerless over our drug of choice, that our lives had become unmanageable. And in our powerlessness, we were ready to receive power, to see power, to define power from a new perspective. And so in our step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. This did not mean that we have to have a full conception of this power, simply that we were willing to believe it exists. And so on step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. To turn our minds and our thoughts, our actions, to the care of a creator that will restore us to sanity. On step 4, we were ready to make right with ourselves. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, digesting some chunks of truth, right-sizing what has been blocking us, without any attachment to the story or the narrative. We became clear-minded of where we were in anger and resentment and anxiety and worry and selfishness and distrust. and where we could be in God's will, in unconditional love, helpfulness, tolerance, and faith. So by step 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. This human being could receive our inventory and not be affected. We learned what it means to go to the properly appointed authority for such matters. And so on step 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, which has been simplified, right-sized. And so we were on step 7. We humbly asked God to remove our shortcomings. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and sigh it out. Allow your shoulders to fall away from you. As you get settled into your body, you allow your eyes to close. You keep them open with a gentle gaze. Start taking your first conscious breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Try that again if your body is calling for such relief. This would be the space to start listening. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. And start paying attention. Notice each breath as it enters your nostrils and travels down to your lungs, allowing your belly to expand. And notice how each out-breath moves up through the lungs, back up through the nostrils or your mouth. Allow your full attention to flow with your breath. Notice how your inhales are different from your exhales. Notice the quality of air that travels through your body and what it feels like as it exits. As you turn more deeply inward, you begin to let go of noises around you. This doesn't mean they don't exist, but your attention will come back to the sound of your breath as you relax your shoulders, as you soften that space between your eyebrows. Let there be space between your teeth. Relax your chin. Let go of your arms. Breathing in, breathing out. And so on step 7, we humbly ask God to remove our shortcoming. This is where we keep getting right with God, asking the one power who has the ability to remove what we are willing to have lifted. So I ask you, my fellows, are you willing to have your false pride lifted from you? Are you willing to have your self-loathing, your jealousy, your distrust and suspicions removed from you? How about the dishonesty, the lying, the exaggeration and the intolerance that pursues, the shame and the greed, the lust, the hate and the anger, and the laziness, the procrastination, the impatience that eats at your soul? Are you willing to have God remove from you the blaming, the enabling, the martyring, and the managing? The lack of responsibility for what is mine, so I make myself responsible for what is yours. Are you willing to have God remove from you the gossip, the kind that happens inside your head towards yourself and your fellows in life? The slandering, the vilification of self that does not serve anyone. Take a deep breath in, expand from your center. As you exhale, claim your willingness to have God remove from you what the earthly cannot. As you inhale, you become more willing. As you exhale, you indicate your readiness. So breathe louder than the liar. Breathe louder than the disease that pretends to be you. As you inhale, you receive humility and trust, contentment and gratitude. As you exhale, you stand in your willingness, in your decision. So breathe with me, beautiful souls. If you are willing for God to remove from you what does not serve you in this world, then you are willing to receive forgiveness, patience, faith, and courage. You are willing to receive purity and kindness, enthusiasm and zeal, you would be willing to receive honesty, integrity, and acceptance for it all. Fill up your lungs with new breath. Allow yourself to remember you are alive and here. For all that matters is your aliveness, your purpose of helpfulness. Breathing in, we rise. Breathing out, we fall. Allowing your conception of a power that is in love with you to hold you, to cradle you and to love you, and to remind you that you are safe and protected if you are willing to stay. Breathing in. Breathing out. And so when ready, we say something like this. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character. God, please remove my intolerance, my false pride, my arrogance, my jealousy and distrust, my suspicion, my envy and coveting, my selfishness, my self-loathing. God, please remove my self-seeking, my dishonesty, my lying, my stealing. Mother love, remove my inconsideration of others, my greed, my lust, my infidelity, my hate and my anger, my resentments, the laziness and procrastination. God, remove my impatience, my fear of no control, my fear of rejection, my fear of being alone, my irresponsible ways, my blaming and my enabling, my martyring and my immoral thinking. Which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength. God, strengthen my humility, strengthen my courtesy and politeness towards others and myself. Strengthen my trust, my contentment and gratitude for everything and everyone. God, strengthen my unselfishness, my helpfulness to others, my honesty and integrity. God, strengthen my tolerance, my acceptance, my tact, and understanding what is consideration for others. Strengthen my generosity, my faithfulness, my forgiveness and love, my patience, faith and courage, that I can be responsible, accountable, recognize the good in others, see the innocence and kindness of others and myself. God, strengthen my ability to see that in helpfulness I get to serve you. As I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. Allow yourself to expand with the sound of your inhale. And as you exhale, you consider, are you willing to do this every evening? In fact, are you willing to take this prayer to your heart at any point in the day? When you humbly become willing and you take the action of asking God to remove from you. We have then taken step 7. Allow the rise and fall of your chest to soothe your body. If you need to feel the connection, you can always place one hand on your heart and one hand on the belly and start feeling the power of God. As your chest expands and you breathe in, and as your belly contracts and you breathe out. And so if your mind wanders to thoughts, plans, or problems, simply notice. Watch the thoughts as they enter your awareness as neutrally as possible. And so we practice letting go of the thought, as if it were a leaf floating down a stream. In your mind, place each thought that arises on a leaf and watch as it floats out of sight down the stream. And now bring your attention back to your breath. The sound of God's love. Your breath is the anchor you can return to over and over again. Breathing in. Breathing out. And so in your exchange with your higher power, you get an opportunity to be all of you good and bad, and everything in between. You come as you are, and God receives you as you are. That's the beauty of unconditional love, where you remove the conditions one has to meet in order for them to be loved. So where can you remove these conditions for yourself and for others? Whatever has hardened your heart gets a chance to dissolve if you're willing to allow it. So dissolve that space between your eyebrows. Relax the muscles behind your eyes. Let go of the prejudice behind your mind. Relaxing your ears. Let your cheeks fall away from you. What does it mean to assume neutrality in your body? And maybe the sensations get too loud. Can you come back to your breath and begin again? Allow the next few moments to become about a quiet time for you. You standing in front of your higher power. Uttering these words. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. Allow a moment of silence to fall upon you. A moment of integration, absorption. A moment to receive. And a moment to thank yourself for being here. It takes a lot of courage to show up in a space like this, where we are invited to get quiet. So thank yourself. Remove the conditions. Thank yourself. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and sigh it out. Make a noise. Let it go. And with your next breath, send a prayer to someone who may not have access to a space like this. A moment of quiet, solitude. To the suffering addict that may never find a solution that has worked for us. And to their loved ones who suffer loss as well. With your second breath, send breath to those who have loved ones in the hospitals, those who are waiting for some medical procedures, some news, those who are receiving some devastating news in these moments where we breathe, they are receiving a new reality of their lives. And so everything changes. Send your breath to those who need your courage, to the ones who have lost, to the ones that are experiencing grief in its magical ways. And with your third breath, send breath to all children around the world, the ones you know, the ones you don't know, to their parents, their guardians, even the orphans, and the ones who may never find their children again or may never be able to reunite with them. And to all animals and their children, to all plants and their baby plants, and to all minerals and their baby rocks. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale and send a prayer to whoever needs to receive one from you. And as you start transitioning back to your body, send a prayer to someone who can't. Thank you for existing. I love you. You all matter to me. Thank you for the opportunity to serve.